Hello and welcome to the 2019 State of the School Address. The State of the School Address is something that we implemented at Pine Lake a few years ago and is an opportunity to share in detail the present state of Pine Lake as well as our future plans. Depending on your level of engagement, most families see Pine Lake through the lens and experience of their child. This presentation is an opportunity to take a deeper dive into the K-12 experience that is PLP. I sincerely appreciate you taking the time to listen in. It's a very exciting time for our community and we have a lot to look forward to. We will start with our mission statement and Pine Lake's commitment to prepare students for college and a purposeful life. In its most simple form, we see each of our students as college-bound and aim to create opportunities and choice following graduation from PLP. We'll talk about some of those opportunities and actual outcomes later in this presentation. We also hope that the Pine Lake experience, which is a combination of our core values, curriculum, staff, and community, can help students develop a sense of purpose and passion in their lives. It is the people that make a school and a school community. I get a lot of questions about growth and student population, many of which are related to the arrival and dismissal. While it may seem as though we have many more students on campus this year, the actual enrollment numbers have been pretty consistent and in line with our goal of leveling off. While the high school continues to fill out, absorbing most of the increased enrollment, we were actually able to bring the lower school numbers down slightly for a second straight year. While you'll notice an increase of 6 students this year, we actually have fewer students enrolled K-5. It's always interesting to hear that we were actually servicing students from 7 different school districts, the largest being Charlotte-Mecklenburg and the smallest Catawba County. Similar to previous years, our waitlist and numbers continue to rise. While there are a number of excellent educational options in the area, we continue to see an increased desire to be at PLP. I mentioned earlier that it is the people that make a community strong. We are a school of choice, and every day families like yours choose to be at Pine Lake Prep, and that is not something we take for granted. We appreciate the partnership and mutual trust we share with each of you. There's a common misconception that teachers at a charter school do not need to be certified, and I can tell you that's not the case. From an accountability standpoint, North Carolina requires at least 50% of teachers at a charter school to hold a teaching license. An additional requirement, all teachers who are teaching the core subjects like math, science, social studies, language arts must be college graduates. At Pine Lake, we certainly exceed those numbers. This year, roughly 93% of our instructional staff are certified licensed teachers, roughly 40% of our staff hold advanced degrees, and nearly 11% are nationally board certified. Another noteworthy comment, last year one of our teachers was named a North Carolina School Hero Award winner. The North Carolina Lottery recognized just 10 school employees across the state, and our very own Jeff Walker was named one of them. Jeff is a high school STEM teacher at Pine Lake, and the award recipients were identified as teachers who are making a significant impact in the lives of their children around the state. This fall, Pine Lake was awarded a school performance grade of an A. An A is currently the highest performance level awarded to schools. Each year, the percentage of schools earning an A falls somewhere between 4 and 6%. The school performance grade is a product of achievement and growth. 80% of the grade comes from achievement, or the percentage of students at or above grade level, and the other 20% comes from the school's growth. You can see here that our achievement score fell at 88.4%, and our growth score fell at 81%, which gave us a performance score of 87. I'm proud to say that the achievement score of 88.4 and the performance score of 87 are the highest percentages we have achieved or scored since the calculations were adopted 6 years ago. For comparison, the North Carolina state average specific to school performance grades fell around 65%. I've said before, I truly believe our success is the result of highly motivated population of students, high-quality staff, and engaged families. To provide a quick overview, I've included the 2019 and 2018 data along with each indicator. The reading and math 3 through 8 scores are reflective of grade level proficiencies, which are essentially the EOG scores. Similarly, the science grade 5 and grade 8 scores are reflective of grade level proficiencies, once more, on those EOG scores. Biology and English 2 are also proficiency scores on end of course exams. These are similar to EOGs, but specific to high school. The ACT number indicates the percentage of students who meet the UNC system minimum admission requirement, that is at least a 17 on the ACT. Math rigor is identified by the percentage of students who have passed Math 3. Graduation rate is simply the graduation rate of our current senior cohort. As I mentioned, the growth score makes up 20% of the school's performance grade. North Carolina uses a metric to predict growth scores for every student, and schools are evaluated based on their ability to meet that predicted growth. You will see that Pine Lake met the expected growth specific to reading and exceeded expected growth in math. The next few slides relate to student life, the first being competitive athletics. I get a lot of questions from lower school and middle school families about athletics in the high school, so I want to acknowledge and share some of the great things we're doing. Everything we do at PLP is meant to support and supplement the growth of our students, and athletics is no exception. A John Wooden quote, "Success comes from knowing that you did your best to become the best that you are capable of becoming." Pine Lake is part of the North Carolina High School Athletic Association. That means we're eligible for state accolades and compete for conference, regional, and state championships. We are part of the Piedmont Athletic Conference, or PAC-7. This past year, PLP was awarded the Wells Fargo Cup, which is given to the winningest school in the conference. We took home conference championships in girls golf, girls cross country, girls tennis, boys swim and dive, boys tennis, boys golf, and girls track and field. We had 2 teams win regional championships in girls golf and swim, and 2 individual state champions in diving and swim. This fall, I'm excited to share that our girls tennis team captured the 1A state championship in team tennis, and our very own Anderson Schubert won the singles state championship. Next, we'll talk about our exceptional fine arts programs. Once more, everything we do at PLP is meant to support and supplement the growth of our students. And now fine arts. A Pablo Picasso quote, "Every child is an artist. The problem is how to remain an artist once he grows up." Pine Lake was founded with a focus on the arts. We recognize the value of an arts education and its positive correlation with gains in math, reading, cognitive ability, critical thinking, and communication. Arts learning has also been thought to improve motivation, concentration, confidence, and teamwork. For some of our students, arts has become a supplement to their growth and maturity as a student, while for others it's become a passion and eventual career. As the numbers of colleges and universities represented by PLP graduates grow, we've been proud to add a list of art schools around the country. Recent graduates have gone on to attend some of the top art schools around the country, including Savannah College of Art and Design, the University of Arizona, North Carolina School of the Arts, University of Arizona School of Dance, Columbus College of Art and Design, the NC State Industrial Design Program, and Belmont University, to name a few. We've seen tremendous growth in each of our fine arts and offer a myriad of options within our visual arts, choral, instrumental band, orchestral, and theater departments. This fall, we enrolled students in our first dance course at the upper school. While it would be impossible to highlight all the awards and accomplishments our fine arts department has amassed over the previous 12 months, I wanted to highlight a few. This past spring, PLP received 10 total nominations as part of the Blumenthal Performance Arts Center Bloomie Awards. The Pine Lake Preparatory Theater Program production of Bright Star took home the award for Best Overall Musical and Best Overall Direction. It was a special moment for our students and for our school. Within our orchestral program, we had 2 students selected to the Western Regional Orchestra and Repertory Orchestra. Auditions for the orchestra are extremely competitive and rigorous, and we're proud of both girls for their accomplishments. While we have an abundance of options, we've also been able to create additional opportunities that may not have fit into one of our traditional courses. An example of that, we currently have a student working on an independent study specific to fashion and design, where he's developing his understanding, skill, and experience specific to fashion and design and creation. I'm really thankful for the quality fine art staff at PLP and their desire to continually grow opportunities and experiences for our students. We've worked hard the past 5 years to create extracurricular and academic enrichment opportunities to ensure we are creating valuable, hands-on, experiential learning opportunities for our students. I wanted to take some time to highlight some of those opportunities now. The goal behind extracurricular and academic enrichments is about creating new opportunities and perspectives. You've likely heard the quote, "I hear it and I forget it. I see it and I remember. I do and I understand." Our goal is to create opportunities for our students to do. There is no shortage of opportunities at Pine Lake. At the lower school, our immersion program continues to matriculate up, and next year we'll offer it at the 5th grade level. Our K-12 STEM program continues to grow, and we're currently offering 2 separate pathways that will eventually end with a capstone class specific to both engineering and computer science. At the middle school level, we expanded offerings to include medical detectives and computer science discoveries within the STEM pathway. Within our fine arts department, we've added a dance option to support students who have a desire and a passion for dance. Whether you're looking at the lower school enrichment program or middle and high school club offerings, you'll find an abundance of opportunity. Team Spork and our robotics team continues to compete and find success at both the local and international level, having earned a trip to the Worlds competition this past year. We started a new aquaponics club at the high school last year, where we've created new ways to farm, explore, and teach sustainable food solutions. Whether you have a passion for STEM, math, science, community service, global awareness, music, art, or government, there are no shortages of opportunities to grow and develop your potential. The next few slides are going to focus on graduation data. I mentioned earlier that our goal is to create opportunity and choice following graduation from Pine Lake Prep. Whether you have a kindergarten or a high school student, graduation outcomes and college matriculation are likely important to you, so I wanted to highlight each. This is a list of the colleges and universities that PLP students have been accepted to. I know the list is a little overwhelming, and I certainly do not expect you to read it all, but I chose to include it in order to illustrate and establish reputation and relationship. In May, we will graduate our 11th graduating class and add to a list of high-quality schools PLP students have been accepted to. Schools like Wake Forest, Duke, West Point, MIT, University of Michigan, Vanderbilt, Penn, Colorado School of the Mines, Oregon, Marquette, and Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, to name a few. This upcoming graduation class is especially exciting, recognize that this is the first class that will have started with us in kindergarten. Since they were 5 years old, they have called PLP home, and we look forward to celebrating with them in just a few months. Our graduation rate was listed in an earlier slide, but this helps identify the positive trend over the past decade. Reality is the graduation rates are only scored through 95%, which is why the state reports them as greater than 95%. Our actual graduation rate this past year was 98.1%. An interesting statistic is that roughly 25% of our high school graduates are choosing to enroll in a college or university outside of North Carolina. The majority of these students headed to the University of South Carolina or Clemson, but some as far as schools like UC Berkeley in California or Johns Hopkins in Maryland. The national average for students enrolling in a college or university outside of their home state is closer to 20%. The majority of our students, 68%, chose to enroll at a state university, schools like Chapel Hill, NC State, UNC Charlotte, Western, and Eastern Carolina. Roughly 15% of our students enrolled at a private college, and approximately 16% at a local community college. The colleges and universities listed here are the top 11 schools 2019 Pine Lake graduates enrolled. They're not listed in any particular order, but reveal the average GPA of a PLP student who is accepted to that college or university. The slide is meant to help illustrate the academic profile of a PLP student who is accepted into each school. You will see here that the average GPA of a Pine Lake student in 2019 accepted into Chapel Hill was a 4.48. Similarly, this chart helps to illustrate the profile of the type of student who is accepted into each school with regards to ACT score. Once more, these are the top 11 schools 2019 PLP graduates enrolled, along with the average ACT score of a PLP student accepted to that school. Again, you will notice the average ACT score for those accepted into UNC Chapel Hill last year was a 31. As we look forward, I wanted to personally thank you for the investment that many of our families made to the Pine Lake as part of our Lion's Share Pledge campaign this past year. Together, we pledged over $1.5 million to support personnel and programs at Pine Lake. The pledge campaign was about influence and impact to people and programs. Your donations have already created a positive impact on our community in a myriad of ways. Over the past 12 months, we were able to increase transportation opportunities, increase social and emotional health support services, grow our staff, guidance, and college planning department, expand our STEM and Spanish program offerings, and add new courses to the middle and high school level. I sincerely thank you for investing in our students and helping to create these additional opportunities for our students, staff, and families. I wanted to take a few minutes and address campus safety and the purposeful and intentional measures we have taken over the past few years. This has been another area of heavy investment. As we continue to evaluate school safety, we do so generally from 4 separate buckets: infrastructure, prevention, training and communication, and mental health supports. While it's been easy for us to add cameras, locks, fobs, classroom locks, and additional sound systems on campus, we also wanted to make sure we are providing preventative measures. This fall, we rolled out a new Sources of Strength program at the high school. The Sources of Strength is a best practice youth suicide prevention project designed to harness the power of peer social networks to change unhealthy norms and cultures, ultimately helping to prevent suicide, bullying, and substance abuse. The mission of Sources of Strength is to prevent suicide by increasing help-seeking behaviors and promoting positive relationships between peers and caring adults. While Sources of Strength was originally created to prevent suicide, the program facilitates positive social networks at schools, subsequently creating support systems for our students. Just a few weeks ago, we rolled out a new Say Something Anonymous reporting system. This is really a game changer and an incredible opportunity for our school community. The Say Something Anonymous reporting system allows students and adults to submit secure and anonymous safety concerns to help identify and intervene upon at-risk individuals before they have an opportunity to hurt themselves or someone else. The system enables administration to work with trained crisis counselors as well as our local law enforcement to create effective interventions to prevent violence, suicide, bullying, self-harm, and other forms of threatening behavior. Our goal is to empower the students to speak up and help serve as our eyes and ears in the community. Something else I'm proud of is just last year we adopted the ALICE training system for our staff. All of our staff are certified in the ALICE training model. Recognizing that no single response fits to all intruder situations, ALICE training helps to ensure our teachers know all options for response and can react appropriately to any situation. Over the next few years, we hope to become an ALICE certified organization. Perhaps the most important investment is that in mental health supports for our students. Last year, all staff was certified in mental health first aid through Novant Health, and this fall we'll begin providing school-based therapy for students in need. This will make available on-site therapists and counseling services for all K-12 students. The goal of the school-based therapy initiative is to reduce the barrier to accessing professional mental health counselors and support. Essentially, students who are referred may engage this service provider and receive services at school. It's important to understand that schools like PLP employ guidance counselors. This partnership will bring in licensed therapists at each building level. It's never fun to talk about, but please understand school safety and mental health will remain a priority for us as we continue to reevaluate our present state and offerings. I always like to end with context. We want to be a reliable source for information. Save the presentation, take a photo of this with your phone, or jot them down. At Pine Lake, we always see ourselves as partners, and I sincerely believe we're in this together. Please recognize and understand that our doors are always open. I thank you and appreciate your time.